Hey, what's up folks? Welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is Noah Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is Mr. Pedro.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Pedro, Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
Yep, that is correct. This is the show where we combine 3D printing, digital electronics, and smash them together to make inspirational projects. Hello, everybody. We are hanging out in the Discord chat room. If you would like to join us live, you can do so by hitting up Discord. Go to discord.gg/Adafruit and set yourself up.
And don't forget, right after the show, you can actually join us live for the live 3D Hangout Show and Tell. Doesn't have to be 3D printed project. You can show any project you're working on.
Well said. Everybody in the chat room, we'd like to give a shout out to folks that are hanging out with us this morning. It's morning over here anyway in the States. Good morning, Mr. Certainly Bruce. We have Liz, Blitz City DIY, and Do Esther. It's great to see you guys. Thanks for joining us. We're going to jump right into the housekeeping stuff. If you'd like to place an order that has to do with COVID-19, COVID19@adafruit.com is the email to email. Still working on that, folks. It's a whole new world. We have newsletters if you'd like to see the latest stuff that gets put in the products in the store. Go to the newsletter. It's adafruit.com/newsletter. Happens once a week. We also have a daily newsletter called Adafruit Daily. Go to adafruitdaily.com if you'd like to see all the different categories that are available. Yeah, check those out. We appreciate you guys checking those out. We still have a jobs board if you are looking for some makers or you are an employer. Oh gosh, this is really tough. Go to jobs.adafruit.com if you'd like to see all the available positions and things that are out there in the maker community. If you are an employer yourself looking for some skills and some folks, you can publish a listing as well. It's free to do so on both parties. All right, I'm getting better at it. Thanks for dealing with me. CircuitPython meetings happen every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a great opportunity to check in with the core devs and check in with the community to find out what everybody's working on in the land of CircuitPython and beyond. So check it out. It happens every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It happens live on the Discord server, and we're there. There's a dedicated room specifically for the meeting, I think.
I think there's lots of cake and code happening today. It is their 7th birthday, so everybody stop by.
MicroPython, yes.
And wish them a very happy birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's going to be it for the show. That's it for the housekeeping stuff that we do in the morning.
Go ahead and jump into this week's project. Super simple, little, slim CLUE case.
So if you head on over to the learn.adafruit.com, you can see the latest Learn guide. It is the slim case, slim CLUE case. There she is. Do you want to overhead?
Yeah. So this is an evolution of a couple of the cases we've designed for this awesome little CLUE board.
What's the CLUE board?
So it has a ton of sensors in the back. You got your temperature, humidity, gyro. It's running the NRF 52840 BLE. So we have a ton of Bluetooth projects for this awesome little tiny board. Got a nice little, what is it, a 240? 320?
That is the sound of my stomach growling.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah, yeah, I forget
buttons. You got edge connectors, so it's compatible with the awesome little micro bit.
Hey, microbit.
You got proximity, light sensor on the top here, and then you can have access to stemma port, USB, and the reset JST, and these are cap touch as well, little edge connectors. So tons of inputs and sensors on this little guy. Really good for education and for sensing a lot of projects. So the past cases that we've designed were, a little bulky.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be like an all-in-one. The battery's in there. Really, the most of the space is the battery.
And that's why it's so chunky.
That's why it's chunk, yeah.
So we have, continue.
No, I was just saying, like the main form factor of it is meant to be powered through USB. Think about a student situation where it's always plugged in. You're always changing the code. That's why it's not really designed to be, well, it is designed to be portable. It's just, it's hard to kind of do that with this small form factor. So having it plugged in via USB is one way to do it, but of course you can also do the battery. Yeah.
So this is fully featured case, so you have
Sure.
like things like a tripod mount on the back, you have the built-in reset
tab.
button, you have access
Slide
to...
switch. You broke that out, right?
Yeah,
An
so
extra slide switch.
it just looks like this on the inside. So we have a nice little guide on how to build one of these little JST slide switch adapters. All you're doing is taking one of the slide switches and cutting right in the middle of that to connect your power, so you can switch it on and off.
Yeah. What's cool is you're not cutting the battery cable itself. It's an
Yeah.
extra connector that can come off your cable,
Get
so you
that
can charge that up with a separate charger.
Yeah,
Little
so-
micro lipo charger.
Yeah,
So
so there's a
recommend.
nice little guide on how to build one of these yourself. And like you were saying, you're not destroying the battery. You're just having the JST have that plug into there. So doing away with the battery and getting rid of some of the additional add-ons makes for a very slim little case like this.
Nice.
So one of the features for this that we would like to talk about is the removable edge connector part here. So you can take this off. This idea was from our
That's a nice tight
case
fit.
designer, Michael Dole, who had a similar type of design where it slides into the middle part of the edge connector here. I went a different route and had these little tabs that slide into there and these little teeth that connect to, and snap fit together to close that off, while still having these little divots here so you can attach alligator clips. So there's just enough clearance so you can attach those like that. Wrong port though, sorry, that's ground. Let me properly connect that. That, 3 volt, and then one of your I/O pins connect there. So excellent for connecting something like a sensor, or what we're showing here is the awesome little stemma speaker. Some of the additional features of this case is we've broken out the microphone and the temperature sensor, so you can have access to those, as well as the JST and your usual USB and stemma ports on that.
Cool.
So it's a super simple little case.
Can I tell you what I like about it?
What's that?
Yeah, so I like the bezel is built into the cover.
Yeah.
Because we've just always been, not stuck, but just always making a design where the bezel is separate. You have to glue it. It's really nice not to have to glue it. What did you do differently to make it so that you don't need to glue the bezel?
So one of the things that kept me from designing the bezel built in is you can see that it's not as translucent as some of the other cases. So this is nice and thin, so you can still see the lovely silk screen by Philip Burgess on here, and I really wanted to keep that in there. And because of that, I didn't want it to be as thick as that bezel is, so that's why I broke that out. So it would be a separate glue-on piece, so you could still see the silk screen. You can barely see it on
I see a
this
little bit of
case.
infill.
Yeah,
Just a tiny bit. You can probably turn that off by adjusting
It
your
might.
top and bottoms.
Yeah, it might fall just because of how thick it is.
Oh.
You can
So it's a thicker cover. Can we see the cover?
yeah,
like
so when I
standalone?
take that off,
Yeah.
you can see how much thicker it is. It's about the size of what the bezel would be.
Right. So all that's solid.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows the. Okay, and then it's thinner where the bezel is.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So that's how you're able to kind of. Yeah. Okay. It's kind of like a pocket in CNC land. It's a bit of a
Yeah.
pocket on the inside, and the rest of it is just, the thickness of the material. So it's pressing up against the actual PCB, the
Yeah.
surface of it.
Yeah, so some of the past run of the boards, the screen was just misaligned just a little bit, and this you can use as a jig to
Interesting.
realign the case.
Yeah. You got perfect tolerances there in the button openings.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. And then looks like the alignment too is really good on the light sensor. It's also a
Yeah.
gesture sensor, proximity sensor.
Mhm.
2 LEDs on the sides as well. Sweet.
Yeah,
None
but
of
I
it
think-
needs support. I think you do need support though for this guy.
Yeah, you do.
A little bit of support. It's just a
Misspoke on
tiny
little
bit, guys. Don't kill us. It's just a little bit of support.
You should be able to print it if you have really good air blowers on the side of the printer.
Should be able to just print in the air, no worries. Maybe.
After a couple of layers, it will catch.
Okay.
So, lost my train of thought there.
You're welcome. That's why I'm here. I take your train and I crash it.
So nice little slim case if you don't need a battery. I did try to test this out with one of the 150 milliamp hour batteries. Those do fit in here, but it's going to be such a short life.
Yeah.
I didn't test on how long it would actually last, but you are able to fit one in there if you really wanted to. It could act as a very nice little edge badge.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a conference badge. So when we load that up.
Yeah, you could always do something like that where the battery's hidden somewhere else behind you, or you know, something like that. But
And
the
then-
battery's in a good spot. I like how it's accessible there. It's like at the corner.
Yeah,
Sticks out a
so
little
you
bit.
can actually have the wire coming out of one of the ports if you do choose to have one of the 150 milliamp hour batteries on the inside. It does fit between this area here. You would cover up the humidity and the temperature sensor, but you would get your battery in there.
Right. Cool.
And you have a nice little alignment with the screen, as I said. Little cutouts work out a little bit more better than these were. So definitely a nice little upgrade, nice slim case compared to how bulky these were.
Yeah. So you got options. Really cool.
You could actually add the little slots here and fit the bands on there if you still wanted to have this as a even slimmer wearable.
Right. Or you could strap it to something else, a pole,
Or
let's
your
say.
ankle or something like that.
Right. No, I'm just saying like
for the
poles
step
and
counter.
columns and, you know,
Oh,
your,
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
objects themselves. You
Gotcha.
can mount it in sorts of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Me.
Hungry much, says
Yeah, right.
Andy.
I'm hungry, Andy.
And then Duester saying the translucent filament that we're using here is, I believe this is the Filamentum.
Yeah.
This is the ice blue. And then, like you were saying before, I am using about 4% infill just to get a little bit of catch so it doesn't completely like fall over when it's printing in mid-air in my attempts to get as much translucency as I can out of this.
Yeah.
But excellent little case there, prints in about half an hour, all the parts. We do have a nice little guide to go along with this, so we jump over to that.
Yep. Learn.adafruit.com. You can go to the new tab and see all the latest right here under the new guides. There it is. Got a little YouTube video just kind of talk about the case that we just talked about. Yeah, all the features are here. Sweet. 3D printing. Here we go. Link to the STLs and a link to the actual Fusion 360 source. You could also download it as a step file if you want to import it into any other CAD package. Step files are really cool.
Yeah. So Jeff Epler was saying that he didn't have to do any tolerance adjustments. He usually does like a positive or negative 0.5 millimeters on snap fit together parts. There was some weirdness that happened upgrading from Cura 4.5 to 4.6. I did see some tolerance differences. I had to like
So scary.
I had to readjust all of the parts where it snap fits, like the little the case where it snaps into the bottom case, and then the little edge connector part. So definitely watch out if you're creating snap together parts and if you're upgrading from Cura 4.5 to 4.6. I don't know what they did in there, but there was definitely some differences in my snap together parts when I reprinted it in the green color.
Yeah, we'll take a look at their user group or something and see if other folks are having this similar thing, but it's 4.6 is the latest Cura.
Yeah.
I'm still on 4.5. I've been printing with 4.5, and I haven't updated yet. So just throwing that out there, I haven't had that problem.
I did test this out on the Prusa printer as well using the Prusa slicer, and I did have to use a negative 0.2 horizontal expansion. So
Really?
there are some differences between the slicers and the printers there.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know it's always fun testing these
That
things
is not
out.
fun at all.
There's even weirdness when I printed all of the parts together, they
Oh,
wouldn't snap
gosh.
fit together, and then when I printed the edge connector separately, it fit on there perfectly. So, oh man, it's always fun.
You're looking at, if your bed's like huge and you have a little bit of if it's more pressed in over here on the left than the right,
Well,
you're gonna see some.
It was on the
accuracy.
Ultimaker and I printed everything in the middle.
Yeah.
And I'm using a glass, bed,
Yeah.
which is completely flat. Yeah, it's always fun trying to figure those out.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Print one at a time then.
Continuing on into the Learn Guide and 3D printing page. Like I said before, I have a nice little blue bar there for info. I did use a 4% gyroid infill to get as much see-through as we could for the translucent filament.
One thing about infill percentages, I noticed that when I switch, if I use 4% on, let's say, a 100 millimeter bed, it's like a lot. And then if you do it on a big printer bed, like 200 by 200 millimeters, your 4% is no longer the same, because this is it's a percentage. Just thrown out there. I didn't know that when I was playing around with percentages, but yeah, I normally go with 10% because it's a big bed.
As you were saying, all the set files are included, but if you want to grab just the CLUE board itself, you can get those on the GitHub link that I just posted in there, and that's where all of the component 3D files for this live, and that's what we use to design a lot of these cases.
Yep, you could also grab it from the Learn Guide, the CLUE dedicated Learn Guide. There is a, scroll to Learn Guides, those are all the features. We have a downloads page in every product Learn Guide, and I try to add all the 3D models here, but you can also get the GitHub. You can also get the EagleCAD file and really take a look at it. It's open source hardware, by the way.
A lot of boards, and this is what we used to get the precise screw mounts or the little tabs or any of the parts
clearances
we need to,
for components.
Exactly, yeah. It's one of the things we need to always test out to make sure that the case isn't too big or too small, or it's not bumping into any of the components that are on the top or the bottom.
Cool. We also have STLs of this too, so you can grab those if you're using something like Tinkercad.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
Let's see, definitely want to update your CircuitPython too when you get that. And the link for that is right here, posting that.
CircuitPython.org.
Definitely grab the newest release.
Yeah.
Continuing on, super simple assembly for this. If you go to the overhead, you can actually show how simple this is. You just lay it right on top, and there is a lip that is around the case, so it doesn't, so you can't jam it all the way down in there. So there is clearances for that. Oh, focus on that. So this is the lip that it actually rests on. So it's actually not
touching the back.
Exactly, because we need that to be raised so
elevated,
that this little reset button has enough clearance. So when you lay it down on the floor, it doesn't doesn't hit it by accident.
Neat.
So it's a nice little technique.
I noticed
there
that the reset tab doesn't have that extra post that will help actuate the thing. I guess it didn't need it.
Yeah, it didn't need it because
That's
it
nice.
was so close. So,
cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it goes right over the lip here. It's just so that reset doesn't hit it. Just like so. You should have nice little clearance for that.
Sounds excellent.
And like we were saying before, if you have one of the older boards, you are going to have to lift this up to add your own additional piece of double stick tape just so you can align it.
We don't recommend you doing this because if you break it, we're not liable.
Yeah. And then you can use the top cover as your little jig so you can align that properly, make sure that's on there. And then the little lip around the top part here, nice little taper part that actually is joining to, I can't.
You want to go close? I'll go close. Closer. Get close until you, there it is.
Okay. Yeah, so it tapers out so that it connects to this part right here. The additional little lip there that connects the two parts together.
I call them indents and nubs. You got an indentation, and then you have a nub, and the indentation locks into the nub.
There you go. You can see that right there, the little taper that's going on there. I believe it's like a 5-degree taper. You extrude that, and then the A and B buttons pass through. And then last but not least, the little tabs fit into the little slots in there, like so. And then that clicks in like that.
Sweet.
Super easy, super tiny. I love how small this little guy is.
Yeah.
Feels so good in the hand. And then that's what it looks like. Whoop, oh, oh. course, you got to have the green case for the green board. These are in different colors. If you haven't noticed, we have the green and the black board here, and you can definitely color match those to your liking.
It's funny. Cool.
So this was a very cool. The inspiration for this came from a really nice case design that was on Thingiverse for the microbit. It has all the similar features. You have the little teeth here that come off, so you can have access to the edge connector as well.
Are there dots?
So these dots, I did not implement that on my design, but these are meant for headers, so you can plug those through, and it actually connects to each of the little connectors here,
crap.
so you can prototype with this.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I didn't know if that would be pretty useful or not. You can definitely add that on.
Yeah, I think something more of like a real edge connector thing that we've seen in like the Bright wearables. All of those adapters and stuff that have like a cartridge kind of holder has a better hold, I think.
That, and it was. Look, you can see that it had a little bit of trouble trying to print all
those
those
are hard
tiny
holes to make. Let me tell you. Anything lower than 2 millimeters in diameter is definitely difficult to 3D print.
Yep, and then you have the same access for the alligator clips there. And then one thing I didn't add, nice little divots here for getting your fingernail in there to
that is
pop
cool.
that out.
Yeah.
I really like the way that the USB is closed off, but I couldn't do that because I need the access to the stemma and everything else.
So close to it, it's right up against it, so you have to make that choice.
And the reset button, you can't really push it.
You need an extra thingy to push it.
So
I've had designs too where it's like, well, I mean, I have a hole, but use a pencil or something.
And obviously more little details there that I could not add because of the
sensors,
sensors that are in the way. But excellent little design here. I'll post a link to this as well. I think we actually posted it on the blog before. So I'll link to that. And just because of the way that this, I really like the way that this is exactly the same, but I like how this
bottom piece?
No, the way that
yeah, there's a chamfer there.
Yeah.
A very large chamfer. Yeah, those are great.
And excellent little design there for the microbit. So you can, if you have one of these around too, definitely adds a lot of protection, especially for students that have this like on top of their laptop. It won't make contact with the power or anything else.
Yeah.
So nice little way to make completely slim little cases for
slim
CLUEs
case
or a microbit.
Excellent.
Cool.
All right, let's check in with the chat, see if anybody has any questions about said case.
Let's see. Posting all the links to that, and remember there, if you want to pick one of the CLUE boards up, got lots of time on your hand while we're in quarantine, you can pick these up at DigiKey.
DigiKey, yes! Looks like there's 93 in stock. Shout out to DigiKey. You can get it from the links that we will have in the description of this video. Also, Peter's going to throw it in the chat. But one kind of a pro tip, in the DigiKey storefront, you can just use their search bar and just type in 4500. That's the product ID for the CLUE board. You can do that with any other board as well. Let's try it out. 4200, I think that's the Pi badge. Why, it is. There it is. Oh, the exact match, too. 4200. No photo available, but I know what it is. It's the Pi badge. Adafruit Pi badge feather. Pretty cool. And there's some other stuff here, like the Pi Gamer. The Edge badge, 4400. Great PIDs. Oh, look, there's the thermal camera that we did last week. That's available as well. Why am I talking this way? Yeah, was it 40? Let's just hit the back button. Anyway, shout out to DigiKey. That's where you want to go to order Adafruit Parts now.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this week's shop talk.
Is it shop talk?
Prototyping?
Prototyping, yeah.
Let's do prototyping.
Yep, sweet. So over the weekend, I put together a, we're still moving. I mean, no, we're not still moving. We're settling in. I thought I'd make a hat hanger, but I don't want to drill holes into my wall. So I made an over-the-door hanger for a piece of 2020 aluminum extrusion. Aluminum extrusion is really nice because you can use the slots for inserting all sorts of little mounting bits. You don't need hardware, but I do have some hardware holes for M4 screws. So it's just a really simple hanger designed for aluminum extrusion, 2020 style. Just a couple bits here. And it can hold up to 4 hats. I have 3 here, but you can hold up to 4. Just goes across the door. That's really it. I did set it up with user parameters, so if you have a door thickness is different, or you want the length of the hanger to be longer or shorter, that is super easy to customize. I had to kind of make it this way in order for me to, well, test out the tolerances and make it perfect. Also, the thickness of the hanger is a thing that you want to change. The gap is something that I always reuse over and over again. It's like just a little bit of clearance. I like to throw that in there to anything that needs to touch another surface. That way it's not press fit. It's more of like a fit that has a little bit of slide to it. It's currently downstairs and I can't pull it out, but here's some photos of it. I'm on the Prusa website printer just to show you guys that we are uploading designs to the Prusa printer's website. Thingiverse, it's up there too, but there's ads and it's slower sometimes. Just thought I'd throw that there. So if you'd like an alternative to Thingiverse, Prusa printers is not too bad. It's actually pretty cool. So check it out. Yeah.
Sir certainly says, what do you say? Don't mind the gap? Always mind the gap. So like you were saying, there are different thicknesses for the doors. There's one, like, the differences are like the entry doors.
That's
are
right.
thicker.
Yeah, and they're more narrow when you're in your closet. And
The closet doors are smaller.
Yeah, it
'cause
made
there's
me
like
realize
2 of them.
that.
And then the doors for rooms are different thickness as well.
Yeah, so I had to do that.
So you have all gaps, I think, on there, right? All the different sizes for all the different doors.
Yep.
Or you can just edit those
Yeah.
inside of the Fusion 360 file.
Exactly. Sweet. So if you have a piece of 2020 laying around, you can use it for mounting stuff. Maybe you can use it to mount cables, wires.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's other stuff. I just have too many freaking hats, so I need to sort them out. So I did. Yeah, in my old house, I just drilled right into the wall, which is a bad idea.
Yeah, because then we got to patch everything up.
Yeah, and I did, and it cost money. It's like, well, I mean, we could do it ourselves. All right, so that's what I'm working on. There's some other stuff too, but we're running out of time.
Yep.
Like literally, we have 2 minutes.
Oh, let's go ahead and just plug, I guess. We're doing 3 Hangouts show and tell. Right after this, we'll post the link in the Discord if you want to join in. Remember, it doesn't have to be a 3D-printed project. It doesn't have to be an Adafruit project. It could be like a tour of your workshop or anything your kids are working on, or just come by and show off your pet. Always appreciate that.
Yeah, we do. We really need to see pets.
All right. Go ahead and close out the show.
Okay.
Let's see. There's all the closer stuff.
All the other stuff. Yeah, so later tonight at 8 p.m. we'll also have another show, Ask Engineer. Oh man, I messed that one up. 7 p.m. Is the full hour length of the show and tell. This is where you can share all the stuff we talked about. And those are the show and tells. Those are the shows tonight. Lady Ada has been doing from the desk of Lady Ada, midnight streams. Sometimes they're at 10 p.m. Random hacker hours is what they say. So check them out. We don't have whenever they come up. So be sure to subscribe to any of the channels. John Park, yeah?
Make sure to ring that bell icon because those happen randomly throughout the week. And then tomorrow, another show, John Park's Workshop, showing off a lot of really cool make code stuff and a lot of projects upcoming. I've heard some twittering that AdaBox is going to be shipping soon, so he's definitely working on the projects for that, so definitely tune in.
Yep.
Make Code Minute, and his new show too, the Make Code Power Hour.
Yeah, on Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays.
Tutorial Tuesdays.
Yeah.
We also have a weekly video now from Tinker Pixie, also known as Erin St. Blaine, Residential Mermaid.
Yeah, lots of really cool projects there. She's been pumping out a little really good projects.
Yeah,
so definitely check those out.
All right, we'll see you in show and tell. That's what we're going to do next. So we hope to see you there. If you'd like to be participate, head up. We're going to post the link here very, very soon. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you in like a minute and later tonight.